we've got a good one for you today. We are going to be chatting with Moose, a NFT influencer out there on Twitter, here all about his experience in the NFT space, what's ahead, and get into some top projects that he owns and he's watching from the sidelines. We'll also be breaking down Benzinga's NFT Madness, a March Madness style tournament with 64 NFT collections competing for the championship. Will be live on air, so don't go anywhere. We got a great show planned for today. This is The Roadmap. Hey everyone, yeah, as I said, The Roadmap, Benzinga's NFT show. We've got a great one planned today. We're going to be talking to Moose in a little bit, also breaking down that NFT bracket that I was talking about. Pretty exciting thing for Benzinga. Before I get into today's show, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, FTX US, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world in terms of trading volume and daily users. The FTX app is used by over 6 million people to buy crypto and NFTs. No transaction or withdrawal fees. You can use your phone or computer. And the FTX US trading platform offers NFT trading on both the Ethereum and Solana blockchains with no gas fees. To learn more about FTX, click on the link in the description below, and also pinned to the chat. Now, again, if you are new to the NFT space, the crypto space, go ahead and give FTX a shout. Let them know Benzinga sent you, and click on that link to find out more. Without further ado, let me go ahead and bring co-host Benzinga's own Brian Moir. Brian, what's going on, buddy?
It's all good. Just living the dream. Excited for today. We got a whole entourage backstage right now, so trying to figure that out. But yeah, it's gonna be a good day.
It'll be a good day. I was just seeing that. Shout out to everyone in the chat watching us live. I see Money Mitch in the house. We got Morton. We got Black Mods. We got Wilberto, one of our loyal viewers there. Yeah, an exciting one today, Brian. Ready to get into it with Moose here, and we're also going to break down that NFT bracket later on today's episode. So we have Moose in the background. Let me go ahead and bring on the one, the only Moose. Moose, what's going on, buddy?
Wow, it is an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege to be here right now. Thank you guys for an awesome, warm introduction.
Yeah, of course. So Moose, we use that phrase sometimes, NFT influencer. I don't consider yourself one. I know that's one of those phrases, that some people like, some people don't. So let us know, Moose, before we get into some of these projects, what does your history in the cryptocurrency and NFT space look like? How did you get started in both crypto and NFTs?
Well, I'm over here. I'm 23 years old. About 2017, I started first hearing about Bitcoin, Ethereum. If you understand and know what happened way back when, early in the days, where the whole incident with Bitcoin, and it was just awesome. Everybody hearing about it, and I actually knew a person. His name was Charlie Shrem, who had to do with Bitcoin, and he was just killing it. He made something called I think it was Bid Instant. That was like a third-party platform to help you get some Bitcoin. I was just going around and I found out all about that, and it was just insane. I bought my first Ethereum in 2017, and things started dying down a little bit, and I got back in, and around 1 year ago, I got my first NFT, and it's just been such an amazing journey, from then. Every single day is like a story. It's insane.
What was the first NFT that you bought, or maybe the first one that you would actually claim that you bought? Maybe the first one wasn't so great.
So here's the whole thing. This was the exact. Okay, so I actually started with NBA Top Shot. One day I just started. Yeah. Do you have an experience with that?
I do, and we have so many people on, and so many of them say NBA Top Shot was their start in NFTs. So I always like hearing that. But yeah, I was not early to Top Shot, but I definitely was in Top Shot before some of these other NFT collections.
Yeah. I feel like Top Shot was just that stepping stone for a lot of people in here, and like I didn't even know what an NFT was at that time of Top Shot. I just thought it was cool to like own that moment. And I started buying rare ones. But after that, when I first bought my NFT on OpenSea, this is when Bored Apes just minted out. And I could have bought a bunch of, I said I was going to go in and make a heavy purchase. And it was either going to be, Bored Apes or this thing called B-Ball Pandas. And I saw both. I saw the utility of both, and I liked them. And they were both relatively low prices, around like a 0.1, floor. And I ended up, it was insane. I ended up just going with B-Ball Pandas because they had a whole play to earn, roadmap where you're going to eventually earn their token, and, you could redeem that for cash. And I was just like, wow, like, this is awesome. But I ended up making the wrong decision, and they rug pulled.
Yeah, because of course, Bored Ape was never heard from again, right? That's the name,
You didn't miss much there.
Heard, but yeah. Well, hey man, thanks for publicly sharing that, because yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing that a lot of people face. I mean, I know we're not all liquid at all times, so sometimes in your wallet, you don't have enough to get into all the projects minting, and you have to make some decisions on, hey, am I gonna buy X or am I gonna buy Y? And sometimes that decision's correct, and sometimes it's not. So I want to dive into Bored Ape Yacht Club a little bit with you here, Moose. So you told us that you did end up owning a Bored Ape, though. Can you talk, and since you didn't get that at Mint, talk to us a little bit about how you got into Bored Ape and maybe your experience, and then your exit from Bored Apes.
Awesome. Yeah. So they took the NFT community by storm, and, they had such a strong community. And after I minted these B-Ball Pandas, like a few of my friends that like I'm in this group chat with, they all started getting these Bored Apes. And, I'm looking and I'm like, no, like I'm going to kill it with my, I'm going to kill it with my B-Ball Pandas. But it ended up being the opposite. And I'm like, wow, I got to get involved in this. And I ended up, buying in at like 12 ETH, and then 1 week later selling at like 20 ETH. And that was in the summer. And I was just like, wow, like profits, this is awesome. Like, wow, this is crazy NFT community. Like, I want to live here. This is the best thing in the entire world. And then I rebought back after it sold, and I ended up holding, and it ended up going to 33. And there was like a time in like November, December, of 2021 where things were dry, and I said, wow, what did I do? I'm overexposed in the market. I have so much money tied up. What if everything goes to crud, and I'm here with a picture of a Bored Ape? And like I started getting reality check where I'm like, wow, I can definitely use that. I could use that money for sure. And I sold at 33 ETH, and a day later it went to 50. So that's my experience with Bored Apes, and all my friends still own, and they're getting token. And I ended up buying some token just to give out to some of my followers, and just always host some giveaways and stuff like that on Twitter.
Yeah, awesome. We definitely talked about Apecoin last week. Before we get into that, we did have the acquisition news, right? That Yuga Labs was acquiring the rights to CryptoPunks and Meebits. And as someone who follows the NFT space like yourself, and someone who used to own a Bored Ape, Moose, when you heard that news, what was your initial reaction to Yuga Labs making that play for those Larva Labs assets?
Yeah, the only thing I can think is that Yuga is going to take over, and they're so you know, innovative and constantly, you know, working with the times. And, you know, I of course I wish I was back in, and, you know, in 1 minute, if I had the funds, I would buy my, you know, another Bored Ape just to get involved. But it's crazy what's going on now. Like literally, they don't stop. They don't stop working and just, you know, catering to everybody. They care about their community. And, you know, whoever I know who holds Bored Ape, like they became their Bored Ape, you know, like they're not selling regardless of the price that they hear. Like they are part of it. They became that Bored Ape. So this is all just extra perks of being that, you know. It's not even about the money anymore. It's about the community and who you become. So you know, I felt that at a point, and you know, when times were tough, you know, I ended up selling. But you know, people had diamond hands during this, so it's very notable and admirable.
Definitely. And then, you know, we got the news last week, right, that Apecoin was launching. You know, so had you held on to your, you know, your Bored Ape, you would have been able to claim, but it sounds like, you know, you still bought some Apecoin, gave some away. Brian and I both shared last week on the stream, you know, neither one of us owns a Bored Ape or a Mutant Ape, but we bought into Apecoin, you know, believing kind of in the long-term vision of Yuga Labs and, you know, utilizing that coin for different things. So Moose, give us your opinions here. You know, did you get into Apecoin? Have you sold it all? Do you still hold? And maybe what's the long-term vision you think for Apecoin and Yuga Labs?
Awesome. Yeah. So when they first came out, first off, it hit everybody by storm. Everybody's like, what? No way. This is crazy. I mean, it was highly anticipated, but to actually see it go down, like this moment everybody's been waiting for, and then boom, they're like, yeah, here's, you know, free money for holding this ape. And you're just like, what? So, you know, I felt some FOMO, and, you know, I also, on my Twitter, I like to give stuff away. And I was just like, you know what, I'm going to buy some Apecoin. You know, 50% for an investment and 50% to just give some away and give some to people who need some and who want to feel involved as well. And, you know, just, you know, send it out to whoever. And I ended up buying at like $7. And then, first off, when it first came out, it was like, I think it hit like $33 in like
I bought around
10 minutes.
Too.
Yeah. So yeah, it hit 33, and then it drastically went down to like 7, and then it stayed there for like a few hours. And, you know, I ended up buying it at 7, and like once it was that was Friday afternoon, and one Saturday night came, it was at 14. So I ended up selling half, and I ended up like just riding profits and just giving away what I had of profits. I probably have like around $1,500 in Ape left, but I'm always open to buying more. And I think that they're going to take over. I feel like most of these blue chip NFTs are going to be running on Apecoin. So it's so cool. What was that?
I said not financial advice, but we agree.
Not financial advice. Everybody who's listening, nothing I say is financial advice. Please.
Yeah, we should probably add the disclaimer there. And again, anyone watching, go ahead and smash that like if you have not, and make sure to subscribe to Benzinga's YouTube channel. It's been great having Moose on here, and I am going to turn it over to Brian for the next round of questions here.
Yeah, so you're speaking at NFT NYC. Why don't you tell us about how cool that experience, what that will be like, and maybe something about what you're talking about, maybe a little sneak peek if you can.
Cool. Yeah, of course. So I see on the side some comments, and people are like, oh, it's just the I am my penguin and my penguin is me guy. So yeah, I'll just start from there because that's really the beginning. You know, it started, by the way, I totally messed up. I sent the link of the actual stream on my Twitter, but I deleted it. But I put the YouTube link now, so it's cool. Yeah, it started when I first bought my penguin, and it was during a dark time, and you know, I got my penguin and I loved it, and I loved the community. I loved the way that the community made me feel. It was the first time I was in a Discord and I was like felt a part of something that was different. I loved the founders at the time, and you know, I ended up getting on a Twitter Spaces with them one night, and was very passionate, and you know, I was like, you know, pacing back and forth in my room talking about, you know, my experience and how, you know, my penguin just made me so happy, and like how I became my penguin. Like I said, like people becoming their Bored Apes, like I became my penguin, and I was so happy with it. And I ended up like out of emotions, like screaming like, I am my penguin and my penguin is me. And the next day, that clip actually went viral, and everybody's like, who is this guy? Like, this clip is so funny. And, you know, I can't tell if it's, you know, what kind of, if it's humor or it's real, if you know, he was so emotional, like what's the story with it? And you know, I'm over there like, oh my god, like what just happened? And it ends up being that, you know, I just build like my Twitter account from there. Like I made a new Twitter account on there, just started being you know, kind and spreading as much love as I can, and that's my main goal. And you know, setting up Twitter spaces and talking with people and just being happy and saying good morning every morning. And you know, anybody who's unfortunate or has any stories, I'm always open to listening and helping out. So I try to use my platform that I got just for good, and it's been great so far.
That's awesome. I personally host a lot of Twitter spaces for Benzinga and some of my personal account and stuff like that. And Alyssa helps as well. And we've been ramping up Twitter spaces tremendously. Like each department now, we're doing a bunch of Twitter, but we kind of Alyssa and I kind of started that because we saw a need for spaces, how important they are, and how well and easy you can include your community into them. And we think they are awesome. We think that's the next wave of how people are going to communicate and do these announcements and stuff like that. So I wanted to talk about why you thought they were so important and what you thought about including Discord too, like those kind of AMAs and stuff like that. So what do you think about social media and Twitter and Discord specifically? How do you utilize them and why are they so important to you?
Okay, so if I'm giving for me, and then I'll give a little bit of advice on what's going on. Like what, of course, there's a crypto and NFT community on YouTube, and I see it all the time, and it's awesome. And there's streamers, and it works, and there's a lot of people. But what I see from my own experience is that Twitter is flooded, and Discord flooded with people. Whether it's showing off their new NFT, whether it's a new implication that Twitter put into their a system, how you can upload your NFT as an avatar, whether it's, you know, Twitter's becoming so NFT and crypto oriented. Like the biggest tweeter, Elon Musk, is like nonstop talking about, you know, crypto and there's group chats and there's spaces, and it just became easy. Like that became people's outlet. And I feel like YouTube's more of like content and to watch people, you know, to listen also. And it's more of like edited content, but like Twitter's more like raw and very opinionated, and you know, it's so easy to just write and to join things, and it became easy. There's not much ads, and I feel like it's more of like a spot for everybody to utilize. And there's more of a community in crypto and NFTs on Twitter, and with that, there's spaces that can be held. And I see, you know, if I could just look at my phone now and look at Twitter, like I see spaces that's you know, market strategies, and there's 300 people in it, and you know, that's constantly going on with all different people and stuff. So I think that Twitter is where it's at, and Discord also. You know, it's just that's where everybody's talking. YouTube's also great. There's definitely a community there as well. But
yeah, 100%. I think I'll throw it over to Chris now.
Awesome, muted. Yeah, so Moose, let's talk about some project. You know, you mentioned Pudgy Penguins, which we'll get to in a sec. But today, last I saw, you were sporting a creature as your profile picture on Twitter. So give us a little background. You know, what drew you into creature to get your start there?
So here's a funny story, actually. It was when that whole penguin thing happened. Danny Cole reached out to me in DMs before he was working on, like while he was working on creatures, like, and he didn't release anything yet. You know, he was just working on it. And he wrote, "What's up, Moose? I'm Danny Cole. I actually love your passion. Let's speak." And I didn't discover that DM until like a month ago. That was like happened 8 months ago or whatever it is. And I didn't discover it was on my old Twitter account that he reached out. So that was definitely something that I messed up on. So, but I ended up hearing about creatures. I loved it, and I loved the art. And probably 2 weeks after mint and it got minted out, like I kept saying, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for it to go down. I'm gonna wait for it to go down in price." And finally, I got it at what I was okay with paying, and I got involved. And it's just been such an awesome community ever since. And I'm a big fan of Danny, very friendly with Danny also. And today they're doing something called a creature travel, cool interactive day where, you know, somebody gets, I believe it's like a token of some sort, and you can share a connection with one person, and it becomes like a piece of art that you can have forever with the person you share it with. So super cool. He's always thinking of ways to connect people together. It's different than your standard NFT project. It's connecting people with love, and I stand for that 100%.
Awesome. And Moose, I see, in your banner there on Twitter, a Sappy Seal. I, of course, am rocking my Sappy Seal sweater today, because we're going to talk about them on our March Madness contest here. But we had them on the show, a little while ago. And, let's hear a little bit about, what drew you into Sappy Seals and why they are included in that sweet banner pic there.
So thank you so much. I made that myself. I'm a huge fan of Sappy Seals. Wob, the creator, I just loved him, loved his vibe. I remember Sappy Seals when they were like 0.00, probably 0.07 or 0.06. And like, they're standing there and I'm like, these things are too cute. Like, I got to get involved. So I love it so much, and I became very close with the founder, Wob. And one day I called him up very early in the game when it first started coming up, and I'm just like on Discord, and he heard me listen. I gave some advice. I spoke to him. He gave me advice. Like, we started just becoming like close friends, and then I just bought two of the most rare ones, two one-of-ones. And we had such an awesome experience with that. I ended up selling that, buying buying another one, and just getting involved with him in the community. It's such a strong community together. And again, I stand with them 100%. And like, if you want to be a part, like, this is like the definition of an NFT community, where there's fun, there's memes, there's serious time, there's awesome time, there's lighten up day time, there's let me give something away time. Like, they hit all the spots that you need to hit in order to have like a successful community, and that's exactly what they have. So I recommend, if anybody wants to get involved, they're doing the same thing with Pixel Pets. That's their second project. Wob is just such an amazing guy, and I love him like a brother. So
yeah, agreed. We loved getting into that conversation, and hearing all about Pixel Pets. Last one from me here before I turn it back over to Brian. You mentioned Pudgy Penguins. There's been a little bit of drama this year, right? We have seen, some talks of maybe, the founder selling the project, to someone else, someone taking over. Just give us a little behind the scenes here. As someone who has been in Pudgy Penguins, you own some, what are your thoughts on Pudgy Penguins moving forward? Does it need new leadership to kind of drive through the finish line here? Are you just content, with what's going on? Maybe a little bit without getting too much into the drama here.
You know what, Chris? I gotta say, it's been a roller coaster of emotions. At one point, I loved my Pudgy Penguin. I mean, I always love my Pudgy Penguin. I always will. At one point, it became sad to own one because of the reactions I was getting because of being an owner of a Pudgy Penguin became a meme. It became something like, wow, they're walking around like headless chickens. They don't have a leader anymore. They just voted out their founder. It was like, and then being, an owner and having two people going back and forth in negotiation, it felt like, chess, and we were the pawns who are the owners. So at that point, it was like I was having identity issues. Like I bought a doodle. I'm like, you know what, let me try to rep my doodle. But like, I ended up just like saying, you know what, I'll be my penguin regardless of any outcome or whatever it is, regardless if the project goes to nothing or if the project goes to 10 ETH. Like, this is me. This is who I am. The leadership, there's going to be new leadership, it looks like, and his name is Luca, and he sounds awesome, and he just hosted a Spaces like yesterday. So we all have high hopes. We're all talking in the Discord. We're all happy, and hopefully, we make up for some missed time together, and that's really it.
Awesome, love it.
Sorry, my computer kind of froze for a second.
You're all good, Brad.
As most people know, and I think that we've kind of stated this many times, almost every episode, that we're all still early in this game. We're also early to blockchain as a whole. We're also early to NFTs, early to crypto tokens, coins, everything. There's still going to be plenty of time for all of us to become those ETH millionaires that we see, or BTC millionaires, or Dogecoin, whatever we see. There's plenty of time for all of us to get there. But what is something that you think that's going to bring more people into this space? Do you think it's going to be the Coinbase, like NFT space in particular? Sorry. Do you think it's going to be the Coinbase NFT marketplace launch? Do you think it's going to be more of these projects opening up on other blockchains like Solana? Or do you think that it's just going to be music and athlete celebrities that are joining in, that's going to bring more people into the space? What do you think is really going to lead the driving factor to bring even more people that, might be new to it, that want to join in?
Hey, Brian, I think every single thing you mentioned and more, I think that in addition to what you said, play to earn, that's going to be a huge one where you can play and earn token of what that, project distributes to you. And, that'll be, you could be able to swap that for ETH. I think that's going to be so much. Everything's going to be an NFT. This is just the beginning, this is just the start. You saw what Facebook did, Meta, that just says it within itself. But yeah, I think that when the Coinbase marketplace, NFT marketplace comes out, that's definitely gonna, get more people involved. I have so many friends who are finding out, I live this alias online, nobody really knows, but now friends are finding out and they're talking to me, they're asking me questions, and it's how do I buy an NFT? How do I know which project's gonna be successful? How do I love an NFT? And they're asking me all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna see it's and they're asking me what's MetaMask? How do I buy this? How do I trust this website? Coinbase is going to make it very, very easy for people to get more involved in this. So there's so much. The music and the artists, movies, celebrities, this is just the start, and we're starting really from really the bottom, profile pictures, but there's going to be so much more than that.
What about not on Ethereum chains or completely different blockchains like Solana? For example, other people are going to start paying more attention to.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be different demographics.
Frozen out.
Do you hear me well?
I hear you, Moose. Brian, I heard you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I heard you also, Brian. Yeah, there's different demographics that get picked up for different, platforms, but I feel like it's all going to bring one thing together, and that's, Web3. And, we're all going to be involved in that. Yes, I think Solana is going to target one group of people who are into Solana. I think that Coinbase Marketplace is going to target the people who aren't so tech savvy and don't know how to, transfer funds to a different wallet. And deal with smart contracts and read stuff like that. This is going to be something, totally different. People who are involved now, it's such a low percentage, and people are making so much money, and, people are learning so much, and people are involved with so many communities. This all just started. It's 1 year raw, and every day there's more and more people getting involved in this. So we're super early. One bit of advice to any listeners who are in here is to definitely get